Good morning, dear students. Uh, as you can see that last time, in my last lecture, I had come up to the Declaration of the Human Rights of Man. And after covering few parts of the topics, we have now reached the third part where France abolishes monarchy and becomes a republic. Constitution has been made and the rule of the country has gone into the hands of the common people through the National Assembly, which is the new name of the Third Estate. Now, King Louis XVI tries to show some cunningness over here. For on the surface, he portrays as if he is with the people and with the constitution, but he is still maintaining some kind of contact with countries like Prussia and Austria. And mind you, these countries are worried with regard to whatever is going on in France simply because they do not want a revolution in their own country. The kings over there do not want to lose power, just like Louis XVI has lost his power. So obviously, now the people of France will have to work very hard. Not just work hard, they will have to fight if they want to save whatever advantages they have got from the revolution. So of course, there is war. But in this war, thousands of young men come and enlist their names in the French army because they feel that now time has come that we should fight for our country. Otherwise, whatever freedom we have got, whatever democratic institutions have been established in our country by the revolution, all of these will be lost. So there is war, and as your book is mentioning, that a very popular song was sung by them, which today is the national anthem of France. That song is the Marseillaise. So Marseille is the national anthem of France today. But all said and done, the poor people of the country, or those who belong to the Third Estate, former Third Estate, are still unhappy because they feel that the advantages of the revolution have really not reached them. So many political clubs are formed, and one of these political clubs is the Jacobin Club. King Louis XVI, of course, is not in any way in power now, and now the people are taking decisions. So the Jacobin Club actually consisted of families of, let us say, small shopkeepers, pastry makers, lock makers, meaning that people belonging to the lower strata of society were members of the Jacobin Club. But here we are not talking so much about the people, but about the leader of the Jacobins. He was a very, very courageous, a man who had a lot of guts, a man who was going to make an immortal name for himself in the history of France, named Maximilien Robespierre. Maximilien Robespierre is absolutely anti-royalty. He does not want the king by any way to remain. He doesn't even want him to remain alive. So Robespierre, you can say, is some sort of an extremist as far as his ways of thinking are concerned. But 1793 and 94, in these years, the history of France is known by one title, and that is the Reign of Terror. आतंक का राज हिंदी में कहते हैं. Reign of Terror 1793-94. During this period, Maximilien Robespierre was like a dictator. But before that, you must understand that just before that, the King of France, Louis XVI, had been executed. He had been given the death punishment for treason, meaning that he has betrayed his own country. देशद्रोह का इल्जाम उन पर लगाया गया था, and after a short period of, let us say, trial in court, he was given the death punishment. And of course, that was 21st January 1793. His queen, Marie Antoinette, who was to a great extent responsible for all the problems that Louis had, was also given the same punishment few months later, that is in October 1793. And so ended the life of Louis XVI, King of France, and Marie Antoinette, who was actually an Austrian princess married to Louis XVI. And of course, their entire time at the helm of affairs did not bear too much fruit. As far as France was concerned, Louis did not do anything that would benefit the people of France. Marie Antoinette, as it is, was not very much bothered about the people of the country. In fact, there is a famous story which goes like this, that some women of Paris once, went to the palace of Marie Antoinette, and from underneath they were shouting, "We want bread, we want bread." The queen came out on the balcony, and as the story goes, she came and said, "Why are you all making so much noise?" So they said, "We want bread." So what does the queen say? She says, "If you want bread, go to the bakery. Why have you come to the palace?" And they say, "There is no bread in the bakery." And what does the queen say? The queen says that if you don't have any bread, why don't you eat some cakes? So my dear students, you can understand from this story the attitude that the queen had for the people of the country, the love and care that she possessed for them. She had none of these for the people. The relationship between her and her husband, that is the king, and the people had become absolutely, it had reached the lowest point possible. So when both of them were given the death punishment, not too many people in France were unhappy about it. Anyway, let us move forward. So after the execution of the king and queen, we come to what? The title Reign of Terror. Between 1793 and 1794, Robespierre followed a very strict policy. And what was this strict policy? Severe control of everything that was going on in the country. Absolute control. The rules that he made were as follows. All people whom he saw as enemies of the republic, whether nobles, clergy, members of other political parties, even members of his own party who did not agree with him, were all arrested, and most of them were given the death punishment. He ordered that anyone who does not agree with him is the enemy of the state. Now that cannot be true, but that's how it was. So he was able to instill fantastic terror in the minds of the people of France. And nobody was above suspicion. Anybody could be taken and arrested and given the death penalty. So it was a situation where everyone was petrified of what was going to happen next. So this is how it was going on. And they were killed on a device called guillotine. What was the guillotine? The guillotine was a device where you have a frame, a wooden frame, and a high wooden frame, and a blade in between. So your neck would be inserted like that, and that the blade would come down and it would cut your neck from the body. It would sever your neck from the rest of your body. So the guillotine was used by the government of France during the Reign of Terror between 1793-94, and that is how the enemies, so-called enemies of the Republic, were dealt with. The guillotine was made by a man whose name was Dr. Guillotine. This is something which I think everyone should know. But one thing, whatever I have said about Robespierre till now would probably make you feel that he must have been a very, very cruel man, and he had no human feelings, and he didn't do anything which was correct. There is no administrator in the world who is only black. There are administrators who are black and white, meaning they have done cruel things, but they have done good things also. So what were the good things? What are the points that we can put forward with regard to Robespierre as far as the positivity of his character is concerned? It is written in your book. Robespierre's government issued laws placing a maximum ceiling on wages and prices. Maximum ceiling on wages and prices, meaning that prices will not exceed a certain level. Wages, salaries. So if you keep the prices in control, then you can afford to give little low salaries to your officers. I mean, for example, today you are getting in 7 rupees you are getting 1 samosa. When I was your age, we were getting 5 samosas in 1 rupee. But salaries during my time were, let us say, 800 rupees. I mean, the position in which I am today, 30 years back, if I was a teacher in St. Michael's or any school, probably I would have been getting just a salary of maybe 1000 rupees, 1500 rupees. But today I may be getting a salary of plus 30,000, but that 30,000 looks less. That 800 rupees or that 1,000 rupees that I used to get 35 years ago was quite okay. Why? Because prices were low. The prices of everything were very low. One dosa in a coffee house in Jabalpur used to cost about 2 or 3 rupees. Today it is costing plus 80 rupees. So this is the thing. So he was able to keep the prices under control. Then what does he do? Meat and bread were rationed. What do you mean by rationed? That you cannot take any amount that you want. Everybody was given a certain amount so that other people also had something to buy and to eat. Peasants were told that whatever you are growing, crops and other things, you have to bring them in the cities and sell them at the price of the government. They could not sell anything as they would have wanted to. That you cannot do. Then equality, there was a specific kind of bread that Robespierre wanted everyone to eat. It was called, as the book says, pain d'égalité, equality bread. Everyone will eat the same kind of bread. Nobody will go and buy something expensive and eat. So in that way, he tried to make people equal. And then freedom of speech also. When we are speaking to each other, we will not say that Sahab and Annadata. ये सब नहीं बोलना. आप सिर्फ एक दूसरे को क्या बोलेंगे? You will say citizen. So in this way, churches were even closed down and they were converted into barracks. But the problem was that in spite of doing so many good